Hey guys, Third Street Reactions here. We're back with Jupiter's Legacy, Season 1, Episode 5.
And you're who?
I'm Zach.
I'm James.
I'm Shane.
Oh my gosh, which is which? Okay, gentlemen, what happened last time?
There's a lot of dust. And the desert.
We had the Dust Bowl / Great Depression, bread lines. You had Red Foreman.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
And we had...
A bunch of Chloe being depressed, and she's downward spiraling.
Yeah.
I hope she gets out of it.
Hutch shows up at the end looking to collect on the shit that she picked up at the crash site, which she'd already snorted it all.
So we didn't talk about this. Is he going to do the right thing?
I don't really know. I mean, I think part of him at one time was definitely striving to do the right thing. And then after that shit with the boss, the big man, he took him out and he's gathered his goons.
Yeah.
So maybe he just did that. You saw that spike in violence in his character.
Yeah.
To defend his friends.
Yeah, to defend his
He's
friends.
definitely going to save her. He's going to save her, and then they're going to have a lot of sex.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's your goal?
For sure. It's not my goal. I think that's what's going to happen.
Is that your theory?
That's my theory. I think it's going to be just one of those kind of...
So you think Hutch and Chloe, like, this relationship's going to bring Chloe back into the fold?
It's going to be like this taboo.
Maybe.
It's going to be like this kind of taboo thing, maybe.
Like the Montagues and the Capulets.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you're talking about. But,
Romeo and Juliet?
Okay, yeah, exactly.
I sure as fuck wouldn't have got that reference.
I haven't seen that since like 8th grade, or read it since like 8th grade. But anyway, they're going to probably have a thing. And maybe it'll bring Hunter...
I'm cutting that out, baby. We're keeping that in.
Maybe it'll bring Hutch back into the fold on the side of the quote-unquote good guys. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. But to me, the really captivating stuff is him just still going on his quest to find out what these visions mean. And it appears that he's ready to go home.
Sheldon.
His brother picked him up.
Yeah.
And but we all know that I don't think he's going to stay home.
Yeah.
I'm an Edgar Allan Poe man myself, more than Shakespeare.
I think his work with Romeo and Juliet was kind of quintessential in high school. That's just, I remember in high school, I don't really read Romeo.
I prefer the Cask of Amontillado.
Yeah. My favorite poet was Tupac.
78% of the country believes that the code I've lived by my whole life is somehow meaningless. So,
that doesn't mean that. It just means they thought he was right in that situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
where did you get the whiskey? What does that matter? Well, you're a good guy. Prohibition wasn't repealed until 33.
There are people with means, they got it too, you know?
Different direction. I was going to reverse the sins of my father by being everything that he was not. By being good.
That's all that matters.
Wasn't somebody close? There's always something close.
Maybe you can talk me down.
Imagine all that noise in your head all the time.
Holy hell. Are you serious? Oh my god.
I don't like that, though.
I don't like that shit either.
Maggots in the eyes?
No.
I don't like maggots, period. Hutch.
You took something that doesn't belong to you.
What are you gonna do about it, asshole?
Hey,
That's odd.
what happened? Tractor's knocked out again?
Hey! I just wanted to get my hands dirty. Where you been?
You have patrol?
I sent him to the Union to see Black Star's autopsy.
Oh, did you? And he let you down. He let the Utopian down. I just don't understand how rubbing his nose in it is going to make it better.
He's not a puppy.
I think that you forget that those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
Burn.
This is fool.
Mr. Wolf? Ah, Barnabas, please.
I've known cooler Mr. Wolves.
If your mother had any sense, you'd be
Mr.
going
Wolf
to eat
and,
that. Can we just
Pulp Fiction.
be an asshole? Hello, lovelies. Please.
Don't stand up.
That's actually pretty cool.
Wow.
You're gonna tear the tissue.
Just be quiet.
tad more difficult than being a human light bulb. Oh, if you're going to be unwell, please direct it away from me. I can only manipulate inorganic matter. This coat is eternal cashmere.
I like the guy. It's funny.
You're hitting something. That's interesting. Oh, now that's different.
Just tell us what we're looking at.
Wait. There's something else. Something inside.
His father's watch.
What the fuck?
Mr. Simpson? It's launched through the latitude. It's the Atlantic Ocean. There's something out there, George. That's what I think all of this is about. The farmer had shot them long before I got there. Then he turned the gun on himself right in front of me. This is real, George. I'm not crazy. Some things, I don't know, that I've been seeing, I think that's all part of some kind of a puzzle, some kind of a test. It's all leading to this.
What do you think is that? What would you do if I came to you with a story like this?
Well, I don't want to believe you. Because you're my friend. You always will be.
Then there's your answer.
Tell me about your dream.
It's like in the 20s and 30s, men talk like that and they did stuff for each other.
Yeah.
So I'm just a giant narcissist. Is that what you're saying?
No. You're just hoping to stay alive in the minds of the people you love. Where your father couldn't.
Like he just kind of says it under his breath while he's writing something.
Full of
They're exactly the same.
Identical in every way. How is that even possible?
Well, I can read mine.
What about this thing? How'd
You
that
have two
get
empty
inside?
halves of coconut and you're banging them together.
What is that from?
Monty Python, Holy Grail.
Oh, damn.
The tech, the design. Only one man on the planet could have built it.
George.
George.
Oh, yeah.
We need to talk.
Iowa.
Why would he? Oh shit! Oh, he dropped the stick, but still he can. The stick.
Well, the stick will travel when he says it, but he has to be holding it to travel with the stick.
Yeah.
What if he stepped on it and destroyed it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Home. Home.
Holy hell!
That's a...
It's about your father. I'm sorry about the way I behaved the last time I was here. It's just, I didn't know some of those things about my father.
Look,
I'd like to offer you a job.
Me?
I had the same reaction.
I'm mounting an that's complicated.
Dumb it down.
I had a vision.
Of a better future.
Hanging out with the body.
He'll prove to himself that
Reflecting.
that it doesn't bother him, you know?
Her personalities seem to change a lot.
Who, hers?
Yeah.
Well, hers, I feel like kind of, yeah.
Well, it may have been transformed after this journey they go on.
Were you think
After
you'll
she
be,
gets some powers and falls in love with Mr. Hunk.
think you'll be the same person in 100 years?
Fucking dirt in the ground. You know how you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
No one will even know I existed in 100 years.
Yeah, well, I'll see you on YouTube.
Persistence? I think you know your way out.
Actually, Walter's invited me to stay.
Has he?
There's a campus in Cortex, if Barnabas can reconstruct the affected regions. Translation? You need me.
An expedition. We're going to secure a boat and a crew in Morocco.
Morocco?
We'll just sure us out.
I don't know anything about the ocean. I don't need any favors. Mr. Sampson.
Listen, you would be doing me a favor. I need people that I can count on. And where would you be going once you...
Is it dangerous?
No. Maybe, no, yeah. Well, maybe.
A little bit.
But when we find what we're looking for...
My family needs me. Right here. You know where the door is.
No, Fitz, you don't understand.
I don't think you don't.
You heard the voice.
Chance.
Okay.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Some nerve coming in here and offering you the chance of a lifetime.
Didn't you just kick him up?
You don't air your dirty drawers in front of company. And anybody who walks through that door is company. Just like your mama said. But now all a black man can hope to get is kicked in the teeth for wanting an honest day's work.
I'll do it. But I want my pay up front.
Okay.
For my family in case anything happens.
I wonder why Fitz is so important to the...
He's probably in the vision.
He was in the vision.
Was he?
Never thought that he would turn on us.
We're the ones turned on him.
We all see the world the way we want
I
it.
see it the way it is.
I need to talk to him before this thing gets any more out of control.
Take us to my dad. Goddamn riot.
Watch your language, son.
I'm not your son. And I'm not my damn father.
I've looked the other way with you out of respect for who your father used to be. He reaches out, you best let me know.
It's over. You didn't show they voted us out. They're selling the company pennies on the dollar.
I took coordinates. Out in the middle of the Atlantic.
Coordinates.
Yeah.
To what?
I don't know.
How's that feel? Needing your brother.
You're not listening.
I asked you for one thing, though. That you be here today. I needed you.
It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
It mattered to me.
He looked at me like, he's right.
There you go.
I didn't expect it to happen like that, though. Quite honestly.
Your dad dropped in on me today.
Why do people bring this shit up after sex ed?
He didn't come to see me about you. I don't think he even knows about, whatever this is.
Well, what did he want?
Looking for my father. Your daddy doesn't scare me.
Oh shit.
That's why I bounced to fucking Iowa, wasn't it?
Round 2.
What do you know about saving a business? Everything that you have is handed to you on a platter. Arrogant little
This
shit.
isn't about saving the mill, Walt. This is about saving yourself.
You really believe that there's something out there in the middle of the ocean?
I have no idea. All I know is he needs this. He needs this journey to heal. Maybe he's not the only one.
He's so much more laid back when he's older.
Yeah.
He's like the laid back one. He's like the,
Yeah, and the other bro's the uptight one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Wait, slow down. You want me to go where?
There's growth and regression, you know?
Walt agreed to this?
Well, didn't at first. I thought the whole thing was going to go belly up, but somehow George convinced him. I don't know what I would do without George.
Fucking George. That's probably what they're thinking, you know?
Stop. Okay.
I am. This is.
You can do
this
that
is
too?
real. All of
Yeah,
it.
you taught me when I was 12 years old.
Disgusting.
Wow.
Did you see
It's
me
amazing.
in your visions?
You taught me, Michael.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Was I there?
This is awkward.
That might not mean let's break up. It just means you weren't in this fucking vision. You right?
She's taking a ring
She
off.
might be
She's
one
taking
of-
a ring
She
off.
might be one of those women.
Holy hell.
From her perspective, I guess she's having visions,
What was your thought
Yeah.
losing his
process when
mind.
Jane left you?
I feel like the brother has like the most right to kind of be angry.
No way.
That you protect your country. They call you a hero. The world has always been chaos and shit, my friend.
Nice.
So what are you saying? That there is no difference between right and wrong? That morality is some kind of an intellectual exercise? No. I'm saying a world of your own creation. A world of black and white, good and evil, and it has protected you for the most part. But it doesn't allow for the way the world really is, and how the majority of people live in it, in shades of grey. Thank you, Jack. Sometimes it feels like you're the only one that I can talk to.
Well, you pay me for it.
Interesting. The one person you come to for advice is the man who tried to kill you for 20 years.
Honestly, Jack, no one else understands me.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You always know where to find me.
So he in a Supermax prison now?
Yeah, probably. He's got his little study there. A little Hannibal Lecter there.
That's fucking cool. One of the
That's
greatest.
why he's getting so fucking irritated.
Yeah.
God damn.
One of the greatest things about the X-Men movies is Magneto's relationship
with Xavier.
Yeah, it is just fucking legendary. And the movies do it better than some of the comics I've read. That was our reaction. I'm going to break it down. I really like that one. Quite a bit.
I really enjoyed the psychology
aspect
of it. Let's see, what other notes I have here. Percentages. He was looking at the numbers at the beginning, the 78% that don't agree with, or that thought that Black Star should have been killed. Mm-hmm. What do you think about percentages, Shane?
I think the therapist was right.
Polling numbers.
I think the therapist was right. He was putting such a significance in how
I'm asking you what you think about percentages.
Oh, I guess it depends on what we're talking about.
Just percentages in general. How do they usually get the information? No one has ever asked me to take part in a poll. But then they have these numbers that say so many percentages of gun owners or so many percentages of Ohioans. Say, well, motherfuckers, no one asked me. So you don't have the full percentage. You have a sample size from wherever the fuck you were.
Oh, so we're talking about
percentages.
Percentages
percentages.
In terms of representing data, like in terms of like social issues.
Percentages.
I don't like math. I don't like them. So I guess for me, I had to see how the studies are conducted, by how many people, what's this, and just, if there's more studies done by more people, the more reliable it is. If you're talking about, if you just want to know how I feel about percentages, I don't like math.
Percentages and data, when people flaunt it in your face, like some people do.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
I mean, I'm skeptical of numbers, honestly, as far as polling data and percentages, for the simple fact, most people, even if they're supposedly independent, have some kind of an agenda. So I think
I guess when I watch Fox or CNN, I imagine that I take everything they say with a grain of salt.
I think in this world today, there's something that's skewing numbers that I just think they're just not as reliable as they could be.
Like it depends.
Is they probably should be. I mean, you got to think we live in a society now where we have all these tools at the end of our fingertips. So
the perception of facts is in their presentation.
Yeah. So I think foolish people kind of just listen to numbers. They don't go, "Oh, how was that study done? How many people were interviewed?" You know what I mean? Like, okay, for instance,
depends on how the data is represented. It's how it's presented to you, and that's a lot of people eat it up. And they don't stop and do the work themselves.
There is data too that says that people tell people what they want to hear, what they think they want to hear, and sometimes depending on what the subject is, even though it's supposedly anonymous or it really is anonymous, people don't want to truly say how they feel to a stranger. If it's, especially if it's like a hot button topic, right?
Yeah.
They feel like they're going to be judged, even though there's really no way for them to be judged. So it's just, it just depends how the data is being pulled. It depends on what the subject matter is. I mean, even unemployment, from what I've heard, at least, the unemployment number that we get is the people that are actively looking for work, that are applying for unemployment. It does not include the people that have given up on looking for a job. It does not include the people who are not getting unemployment benefits.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right.
Well, like I'm in terms of actual unemployment, I'm not getting that. I put it about a year ago.
So you would not be included in the unemployment numbers.
Yeah.
So it's just.
So, but like it's just like, okay, like professional bodybuilders, we know that with certainty that 100% of them take performance-enhancing drugs, based on just mostly anonymous polls.
Right.
We also know, because we know enough about the human body, to know that people don't look like that unless they take things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it just, I guess, depends what it is. But
but back to that particular poll, 78% of Americans agree with the decision. I think that was probably a pretty reasonable conclusion. I think if it was in this world and something similar happened, I think the majority of people would say, you know what, we don't like to see somebody get killed, but the guy had to do what the guy had to do to save his dad.
I believe I've mentioned this in one of our other reactions to the show with Batman and the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
If that were taking place in the real world, and you had someone, a homicidal madman, mass murderer, like the Joker, who was constantly getting out and constantly killing thousands of people, hundreds of people, and the hero just kept saying, "No, I do not kill." Yeah, he kept putting him back in jail, and the guy kept getting out and kept causing destruction. Yeah, the public would probably be pretty pissed. Yeah, and they probably wouldn't put up with that shit very long. Right, the hero says, "No, I will not kill." Yeah. It's like, well, fuck you, buddy. Yeah. I mean, what if the next one's your kid that gets killed in a group, and what if it's someone in your family, your friend's family, your friend's kids? So I can understand, even though we're being shown this from the hero's point of view, that he's got this code he wants to uphold, and they want you to feel sympathetic for that. Yeah. I can see the public's point of view that it's their lives on the line, even though he puts his out there every day. Yeah, theirs are going to be affected by supervillains, right? Who are getting out there in the public and killing people. Yeah, and especially a man that can go nuclear. Yeah, and blow up. Yeah, maybe millions of people. Yeah,
so, I thought like he basically said like, so now your thoughts and the way you process this is based on your relationship with a number. I think he was too obsessed with the statistic itself. He's letting it affect him in a way when he should have just not have thought about it.
He's obsessed with the idea of doing good.
I think that's good, but I just feel like
he's a very self-righteous man. I mean, he thinks that he has basically a monopoly on right and wrong and beliefs, and honestly, he's the type of person I despise in real life. I
definitely wouldn't get along with him.
Yeah, I have very firm beliefs myself, but I like to think that I'm decent, at least
being flexible,
listening to alternative positions, especially when someone presents it in a way that has a solid foundation. Like, I can still say objectively, I disagree with you, but I see where you're coming from. He's not that type of guy.
I like to think that I don't really harbor rock solid opinions, but I am very vocal and with my observations. And but he, just the stonewalling that he does with people, about being so rigid, right? And he's not able to flex for people.
No flexing.
Not like water. Yeah, he should be like water, they say.
And he's trying to be rigid like a tree. I mean, the tree has a little flex, but eventually that fucker's going to snap.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, being good and the idea of being good. I've told you that here recently I've been listening to an audiobook while I've been at work called Nietzsche and the Nazis. And it just really examines how the Nazis tried to co-opt a lot of his philosophies and claimed that he was a philosopher that was basically preaching what they were about. And he wasn't. Yeah. But they tried to claim that.
Well, the intellectual Nazis.
Yeah, the intellectual Nazis.
Because most of them were just kids who were 20.
Yeah. And I'm talking about there were just a lot of professors. Yeah. The hierarchy. Yeah. In the Reich. And, but anyway, when it really started delving into Nietzsche's belief system and where maybe those Germans at the time had found some appeal, he was talking about the Judeo-Christian morality and their belief systems were all based in, their bad guys are going to get what's coming to them, the wicked will be punished, you shouldn't want these things, you should deny yourself, wealth, you should pity the weak, things like that, whereas it's wrong to be strong, it's wrong to be powerful, it's wrong to be these things. He was making those comparisons, and that's a little out of context because I'm sure there's more details. It is more detailed than that, and I remember, but I don't have the time or the energy right now to discuss it. So. But it was just very interesting to have someone so delve so deep into those traditions and their origins, so in such a satisfactory manner. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I really liked this. Might have been my favorite episode.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure. So like I'm gonna get into the mystery of the island, and also it was kind of intriguing. In this episode had the modern present day setting was kind of intriguing. I liked that conversation between him and Hutch.
It did reveal that Skyfox isn't dead.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he's not dead, but I guess he hasn't been seen for so long, no one can find him.
Well, they never really addressed it. They just talked about how he had turned against them and kidnapped the vice president. And so now you find out he's never been technically proven to be dead. There's never been evidence.
They tried to find him before and they couldn't. Yeah, right. And his son hasn't seen him since he was 12, but only he could have made that contraption. So he did it, and why and how?
They think so anyway.
Well, so they think, yeah.
No.
And so why use the dad's watch? You know what I mean?
Exact replica.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, to me, it gives me the theory that Skyfox didn't think that the clone was actually going to win. Otherwise, why put the watch in there for them to find when they do the autopsy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even though if Brandon wouldn't have killed the clone, he would have blown his ass up, blown everybody up.
I mean, this could be something like in Batman and Hush. I haven't seen the animated version, but I have read the comic.
Yeah.
And where they're trying to
Opposite
drive Batman to a point by convincing him that Jason Todd is still alive.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it could be something where a villain, he's being pushed to believe Skyfox is still alive. Someone very close and dear to him.
Yeah.
It'd be a little upfront to just, well, Skyfox is out there and they're hunting all over the world for a Carmen Sandiego.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I have a theory.
All right, what is it?
My theory is that Skyfox potentially broke the code, and that's what caused this fracture.
Mm-hmm.
And now maybe he's trying to cause another fracture between Brandon and his dad, right? Through this whole clone situation.
You think he's so you think he's pulling the strings?
I think he's pulling the strings.
Okay.
Yeah. You know?
As from what I've seen from this series so far, that seems a little too Machiavellian. Because I don't see him as being that sinister Moriarty type villain that's behind the scenes in the shadows.
Yeah, I feel
pulling
like
strings and
he's
influencing people.
Yeah, I feel
He
like
seems like he's more happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, I feel like he's alive, and I mean everyone is different in the present. They were in the past.
Well,
but I think he's misunderstood, and we're going to find out that maybe he had good intentions.
Well, my theory is
he didn't agree with Shell.
Yeah, my theory is that he created a clone that was so powerful that he knew the only way to stop it was one of them had to kill it. So one of them killed it, and it makes a great story that just happens to be Utopian's son.
Well, it's also possible the technology that was used to create Hutch's wand is the same technology that put that ball inside Black Star.
Right.
They have a similar.
That's true.
The outside.
That's true.
So it's possible that it was just transferred in there.
That's a good point.
But
yeah,
it could also be like a belly bomb.
A belly bomb. But yeah, my theory is that basically he wanted somebody to break the code because he knew if someone broke the code, that would be like like Jenga taking the first brick. Yeah, I mean it'd be the first.
Watching this show, I'm just not that compelled. I'm not compelled by it. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
And I can watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with Invincible, for instance, if we're going to compare shows, the Nolan's character compels me.
You're right. No, I'm.
The power of Nolan.
I think Invincible. I think comparing it to the best show I've watched this year, for me.
Well, I'm just giving it as an example.
Yeah.
Where characters compel you, and I'm not really compelled by many of these characters. I mean, maybe this might be the first episode where there's been a conversation that was compelling, and that was between fucking Utopian and Jack Hobbs.
Jack Hobbs.
In jail.
That wasn't compelling to me until I found out that he was in jail, and then I was like, that's pretty cool.
I liked it because I like psychology. It was interesting, and honestly, this is kind of stuff that I think it's kind of discarded nowadays. Like he was interpreting his visions and his dreams, and I think the way Hollywood presents psychology, that's how it is. Oh, you do this, the human condition is this, therefore this is why you think that way.
I did like his line. It's
very
chaos and shit.
Oh yeah,
and
that's philosophy more. But he is very Freudian.
Well, it turns out that he's not really being a psychologist. He's just talking to him.
Yeah.
He's just there talking to him to get shit off of his chest, and this guy's got to sit there and listen to it because he's stuck in jail.
Yeah, I guess I felt. Well, is he still a therapist though? Like maybe that was his profession before. That's how I took it.
He's a genius. They said he was an evil genius or a mad genius.
Yeah.
That was trying to kill the Utopian for 20 years.
Yeah, and that's I do like that dynamic. But he was very Freudian. Sigmund Freud, he was probably the most popular psychologist. Like the idea of laying on the couch.
Sigmund and Freud.
Sigmund Freud is his name. The idea of laying on the couch.
What's the name of those fuckers with the lion or tiger or whatever? Who the hell were those goddamn circus bats?
The one got killed by didn't he get killed or almost killed by a damn Lion.
What were their names?
Siskel and Ebert. No,
those are fucking
movie guys. Those are movie reviewers.
Guys.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
They were a circus act.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. They were lion and tiger trainers. They trained
and one of them was killed by a fucking...
I don't know if he was actually killed or was he just maimed really bad.
One of them died, I know that.
One of them did die?
Yeah.
Well, what happened, they were in Vegas, and they were doing a show on the Vegas Strip like they did for years, and one of the tigers turned on him. The other one was seriously maimed. They were lovers. I'm pretty sure they were lovers.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy, yeah.
Okay. Well, that and Sigmund Freud are a little different.
I think they're both deceased now.
Siegfried and Roy, Sigmund Freud, that's got a similar ring to it.
They do.
Yeah.
It does.
I'm sorry, but Sigmund Freud's the guy saying that little boys want to fuck their mothers and little girls want to fuck their dads. And
Huh?
It's not exactly like that. But
it's basically saying that you grew up being attracted to someone like your mother.
Yeah. And that your first compulsions, I mean, he believed sternly that, young boys were, he used this early on, his early writings, they were sexually attracted to their mother in a way to where they're defensive over her, and that's why they love their mothers, and vice versa, fathers and daughters. And but then, of course, when they're a little older, they shed those urges, and it's mostly kind of...
I don't particularly like his teachings either, Jamie.
Yeah. Like I said, like Burish, Frederick Skinner, Abraham Maslow, all the new guys, they pretty much have discarded that stuff. But he was right about a lot of things.
Well, I think there's some familiarity there. I mean, you grow up, you end up being attracted or drawn to things you are familiar with.
Yeah.
So familiarity over time with a person like your mother,
yeah,
you're going to find something you're familiar with.
Well, what's interesting, I feel like it's always been the opposite for me. Yeah.
So basically, this guy had incestual thoughts about his own mother and wanted to push them on to all of civilization.
Reminds me of Analyze This.
Well, people always, when they talk about Freud, talk about those things, but that's just a very small thing of all his theories. Most of them are pretty good, but that was always kind of stupid. Most people think, I mean, it's just been commonly accepted that he was wrong.
Yes.
Okay? But it's interesting when Hollywood presents psychology. They always do a Freudian, like you sit on the couch and you tell him, like, you've been thinking this, you've been feeling that. He was dreaming about his father, which back then, honestly, no, this isn't back then. This is now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, it's not like that really anymore.
Well, it's just become the stereotypical image of what you see in a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
Yeah, so it works. It works in Hollywood, so that's what they show us.
He did a good job with Hannibal, I think. Because, well, for one, Hannibal's fucking with people.
I haven't seen it. I saw that. I think the only time I ever saw it was at your house.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh no, I saw it in theaters. We saw it in theaters. Yeah. I remember.
No, I'm talking about the show.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that. No, I haven't seen that.
So.
But you know, the idea of just I do like the conversation though that he's telling him, hey, you mean well, but you're trying to stay alive in the minds of your loved ones. Mm-hmm. Because maybe your father abandoned you, and you thought I did something wrong because that's what children do, and I don't think he's 100% off. You know what I mean? No. It's not like this big generalization with like a hint of Freudian.
Well, his line "chaos" and the world is just chaos and shit. Yeah, really reminded me of Alan Moore's comments on the world and how people talk about, let's say, what do you say, like Calvinists and things like that, where there's, I don't want to say fatalism, but what's the word I'm looking for here?
I mean, basically talk about like people who try to find patterns and meaning to life, and
and Alan Moore basically said the world is rudderless.
Yeah,
there's nothing steering it; it's just going about its way. So,
another character who I really enjoyed was Mr. Wolf.
Mr. Wolf,
the guy who came in, he has to make
Barnabas
has to make a show of everything. So I guess maybe he's liked
old Barney Wolf.
What's the mom's name?
Grace. Yeah.
Like I think he just always had a thing for her.
You can tell.
Put her in red, and she's trying to be polite and make nice, and he's helping out the union, but she's annoyed by him. And there's that moment. So and so invited me to stay. The uncle, the one guy.
Yeah.
And he smiles back there.
Yeah, he's kind of a creeper.
Yeah. But I like him. Like he's just funny, and he's like this douchey dude. He's funny.
Very douchey.
He's enjoyable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
He's pompous.
Well, he's enjoyable though to watch.
He reminds me his dialect, the way he delivers things, reminds me of a guy that when I worked at previous company, I was basically a delivery guy. I was like 22 years old, and he worked at Panera Bread. And every time I'd go in there, like I said, I was like 22 years old. I'd deliver they got linens and towels and stuff like that, and floor mats. Every time I went in there, I'd have to go to the back where like the mop buckets are and change the mops and stuff. And every time I go back there, this guy would walk up to me in that kind of like slow, kind of creepy voice. And he'd tell me he wanted to piss on me. And then the next time I go in there, he'd be like, "Have you ever had a golden shower before?"
Really?
Yeah. He'd like, "How about you come over and sit on the couch and we'll watch sports naked?"
Was he joking?
No, he was dead ass serious.
Well, I wouldn't like that either. I'm just saying I like his character in this show. But some guy said to me in real life, I'd be like, "Fuck no, bro. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, well, I was a 22-year-old kid. This guy was like 45 yeyears old with like a artist mustache, and this
like the fucking like the waxed mustache.
Oh yeah, it was dirty looking, creepy looking. Long story short, he wanted to piss on me. I didn't want him to piss on me, so I told my boss.
Watched too much Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I told my boss, and he ended up getting shit canned. So, because the boss called.
You knocked him out?
I knocked him out. I let it go on for a few weeks, but when a guy tells you he wants to piss on you every time,
there's only so many times you can take that.
I told him the most professional way I could. Hey man, I'm not interested in being pissed on. So we.
You know what? I wouldn't like that either. I'll tell you that.
We never ended up on his couch naked watching sports.
Not that we know of.
Not that you'll ever know.
A lot of those times you blackout drunk call me, though, so you know where you were. It's possible he could have snuck in there.
I've never.
He didn't say that he wasn't pissed on.
Yeah.
I've never drank in my life.
You drank before?
Once.
Okay.
I mean, drank.
How are we going to do this when I can drink again? All three of us going to take a shot?
Oh.
Yeah. I'll drink sometimes. I like to enjoy alcohol every once in a while.
Why not?
Yes, I enjoy it too.
I enjoy it a little more than most people. So I'm really intrigued, obviously, by the mystery of the past, but the stuff in the present day in this episode I liked more than I have previously. And I like Zach. I really enjoy his conversation with the therapist, Jack Hobbs, and whether he was a therapist or not, he was acting like one in that moment. It was just really cool that he was trying to kill him for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he's aggravated by the scenario.
He was.
He's getting kind of short with a few things.
Yeah.
You just fucking keep coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of things pretty black and white personally, but, you got to be flexible, and there are shades of gray to things, and that, and I like Shell's character quite a bit. What's interesting is how much he's changed and how much his brother's changed.
Yeah.
They've really flipped a lot.
Switch roles.
Like his brother was, to me in the past, he was definitely a certain type of person. I've been around this type of people before, and now he's like the laid back uncle who, he's kind of smiles, he's kind of warm, makes jokes.
Yeah. Okay, Shane said he sees things very black and white sometimes.
Well, pretty black and white. Yeah, I'm not like Shell. I think we all know that. But,
Yeah.
When it
comes... So do I see things in black and white? That's a really tough question. I think, honestly, when I was younger, especially in my late 20s, early 30s, I looked at things more in a black and white way. Yeah. I think as I've gotten older, I've experienced more things. Went through some traumatic situations. I've experienced the things I never thought I'd experience. I think I see more of a gray area. I clearly hold my foundation, right? I have my foundation of beliefs. But as I get older, I think I do get more compassionate. I get more... I see other perspectives a lot better than I used to. When I was younger, I think there was probably more of an arrogance going on where I thought, yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I have these beliefs, and if you don't believe this way, then you're wrong.
Yeah.
But now I definitely think I'm getting more of a gray area, which, honestly, a lot of people, it's the opposite. A lot of people, as they get older, I think they get more entrenched in their beliefs. I mean,
I've seen both ways.
I'm thinking of people in particular that I know.
Yeah.
That I want
they
to
get
say.
more set in their ways.
They get more set in their ways, more almost militant in their beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I think I have a strong basis for my beliefs, but I also understand that I can't have a monopoly. And I also understand that ultimately I have to be willing to listen to people.
Listening is important.
Yeah. So I see the gray. I think there is some black and white in life.
I mean, like what's interesting is like some mistakes I've made.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I've allowed myself to, I think, have room for more gray. I think I made the most mistakes if I would have said, oh, this is wrong or that is right. Instead of saying, well, maybe it's right for you, it's wrong for him, but it's right for me. Maybe if I would have said, nope, right, wrong, then I probably would have not made a lot of mistakes I've made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, I think.
But, like, I don't know, it just depends what it is.
I think the problem with the gray and, like, my personal life is at times it's caused me not to make a decision when I need to make a decision. I was comfortable in the gray when I should have been, like, black and white about a particular situation or something that was going on. I should have said, no, this is wrong or this is right, and just, boom, that was it. Instead, I was willing to justify it.
When you get your feelings involved.
When you get your feelings involved, you're like, oh, well, I see this, and I need to do this because of this, instead of just taking a hard line stance. I just settled in the gray. You know what I mean? And yeah,
it's like for my life, I want to be black or white. When I listen to other people, I want to see them in their shades of gray,
right,
and not try to impose my black and white views on other people's beliefs.
Right.
I think
it's good.
And you do that, so you're black and white about what you believe. You do the things you want. You do the things that you think are right and wrong, and maybe not be so much flexible on those. But when you're dealing with other people, I think you need to listen, like you said.
And I think this is a good description of my life right now. Honestly, as I think a lot of people live in the gray because of fear. Right? They're afraid to take one side or the other.
They don't have moral courage.
Yeah, they don't have the courage. You know what I mean? They just live in the gray. And I think I'm in that point right now in my life with some decisions that I'm afraid of what will happen if I go either way, right? If I go this way, I might miss out on this. If I go this way, I might miss out on this. Or if I go this way, this might happen. So that's the danger of living in the gray, is you get stuck in this
Maybe
rut.
You won't take the jump.
You won't take the
It just depends what it is.
Well,
Right.
regarding the show, you're talking about moral stances, moral beliefs.
So,
you're not really
yeah.
discussing any
Right.
fiscal responsibilities or liabilities or anything like that.
Well,
because, you know, for instance, I've drawn very rigid lines around portions of my life that I think are important, you know, for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is a place that it's not going to be fucked with. There's a time with my kids. You know what I mean? What's important to them is most important to me. But beyond that, I mean, this show, what I'm asking is...
I mean, morally, there's definitely gray areas.
Ultimately, what's your question?
Well, I'm asking you guys. You're the one that put us on the subject. You're talking about you saw things in black and white.
Oh, I totally forgot I said that.
I mean, morally...
I guess I thought I was going to come around to you asking, what do we think you are?
No, I wasn't going to answer it. I was planning on going jolly good and then fucking moving on.
Oh.
I personally think morally it's mostly black and white, I would say. But there are some gray areas. It's like, I mean, because basically there's different cultures in the world. So culturally, we've kind of talked about this, but culturally in some countries it's okay to get married at 16 and 15. You know, in this country, not too long ago, it was okay to get married at 15 and 16. I think my grandfather was 19 and my grandma was 14 or 15 and got married, right? So, I mean, culturally, I think we have to have some wiggle room on the.
Well, that's called cultural relativism,
right?
And that was that was like for 99.9% of human history. That's what it was like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, in the last 100 years, 120, 150 years, we've gotten morally. We've gotten
life expectancy has shot up as well.
Right. We've morally evolved in a lot of ways that some people would say. So, some of those things are.
Well, in some countries, it's okay to chop someone's hand off or this and that.
Exactly. So that's the gray. I don't.
Very Old Testament.
I personally
going black and white when you're getting a hand cut off, James.
Well,
there's nothing very gray about it. The hand's there. The hand is gone.
Well, I mean, like if they steal something, I meant not just chop it off.
I'm saying the consequences are very black and white.
Okay, I thought you meant like.
I
thought you thought that. I thought.
No, so the judgment of the matter really is very black and white. I mean, the gray would be more in this country where if you do something terrible, some people get off easy. Some people get fucking life sentences.
Yeah.
that's a very drastic example, but you understand what I mean. Some
Yeah.
people are punished more than others. It's very circumstantial. It's a lot more gray. Whereas in the old world,
Yeah.
especially the Middle East and Africa, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I mean, they still.
Well, it's still like that today.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's very black and white, even though it may not be right or wrong. In any case, the wrong people are probably punished. The right people will probably get away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is the problem with like the chopping the hands off and shit. You know, at least.
Well, the idea is like you could say stealing is wrong. That's black and white. But the punishment to do that, I think, I'd have some.
Well,
I'd have some wiggle room.
But here's
I
where
guess, you know.
But here's where the gray is you know, we know at least in this country that a lot of people have been, not so much anymore probably because of DNA and stuff like that. But in the past, a lot of people have been arrested and convicted of crimes they didn't commit. So like if you start cutting people's hands off and they didn't actually do it, and a jury appears.
Sorry, doesn't put a hand back.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad enough going to jail. It's bad enough going to jail for something you didn't do, but then you start chopping people's arms off and shit. That's kind of whew.
Yeah. Guys, I don't got too much else to say. I just honestly like this isn't my favorite show, but I love the discussions we're having quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Some meat for discussion tonight.
Yeah, I like this episode. You know, I hope the show gets better. I know it got reviewed pretty well, so let's see let's see what happens. I guess.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you so much for watching our reaction to what the fuck is this show called, James?
Jupiter Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy. If you like us and you want to support us, it's easy. Just like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below. The comments really help. It's an algorithm thing. Some people will leave an obligatory